after a long search, joining ISKCON. And there it was again. The same competitiveness, the same fault-finding, the same argumentative spirit. And I remember feeling so disgusted. Why is this? Why is this? And it was because the devotees were pretending to be advanced, or they were posing themselves as being advanced, but actually they weren't very advanced at all. They were still in the first stage, simply chanting the holy name, but not really following all the rules and regulations and worshiping the deity very nicely and all that. You see? Maybe they had some formal initiation from the spiritual master. But let's make a distinction right now between formal initiation and real initiation. Okay? The formal initiation is when you go into a temple and a spiritual master gives you a set of beads and a spiritual name, and then you promise to follow rules and regulations of devotional service and chant the holy name and remain true and faithful to your teacher and the sampradaya and like that. Then there's a fire sacrifice, and then everybody has a big feast and goes home. That's the initiation, right? No, no. The initiation is the rest of your life. The initiation is actually following those principles, actually doing the devotional service that you promised to do at the time of initiation. The real initiation means following the instructions of the spiritual master, which are non-different from the instructions of Krishna. So a neophyte tends to get hung up or identify with the external, formal part of the initiation. And you see there's this tremendous arguments going on among the devotees now about what does it mean to get initiated, and what is the role of the person performing the initiation ceremony. You know, is he a guru, is he a ritvik, is he this, is it that, what does it mean? This is all like useless argument. The real meaning is Krishna is giving the instructions how to engage in devotional service in the Shastra. And when we accept initiation, basically we are making a commitment to following those instructions. A lifetime commitment. A total commitment. A commitment that cannot be undone. So if we accept this at its face value, that means the rest of our life we're going to be engaged in that devotional service. The rest of our life we're going to be serving that guru, that sampradaya, that process of devotional service, and ultimately serving Krishna. So the real proof that someone has been initiated is not that they've gone through some ceremony. I mean, it can be a very nice ceremony. It's a wonderful ceremony. But what is the use of going through a ceremony and then not following the vow or not following the promise that you make at the time of initiation? What's the good of going through the ceremony and then fighting and bickering with your god brothers, or refusing to follow the orders of the spiritual master, or falling down from the standard of pure devotional service? What's the use of going through a big ceremony or having a very nice, beautiful temple, very expensive construction, all nicely decorated and so on and so forth, if nobody's happy inside? What's the use of it? What's the use if everyone's bickering and fighting and arguing? So sometimes, actually this was stated by Bhaktisiddhanta. Toward the end of his life, he was so disgusted with his disciples because they were bickering and fighting over the rooms in the marble temple that he had got built in Vrindavan with some big donations. And so he said to Srila Prabhupada, I would rather sell the marble stones from the temple and use the money to print books. In other words, I would rather preach nicely instead of simply sitting in the temple and, admiring the beautiful construction work and then bickering and fighting over who gets the best room. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was on his deathbed, even the disciples were standing outside the door and arguing over which one would get his room after he was dead. See, this is going on. And of course, we don't have to recount the similar incidents that happened in ISKCON, because that's so well known. So that's the neophyte stage of devotion service. The madhyamadhikari stage, when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and actually initiated, not just with the ceremony, but really following the process, really following the stages of devotional service. Bhajana kriya, which is